What is up, everybody? This is your man Sambo here, and you know what? I decided to make a video because I get asked this a lot from guys that are, just getting started playing guitar and setting up their own rigs and stuff like that, and they don't really know because they end up getting a bunch of guitar pedals just like all of us do, and they don't really know how to set up their pedals on their pedal board. So here's a little bit of a kind of a run through of how I set my pedals up, and then you can try it out and see what you think. So, first off, to start, here's a pedal board that I run through my Mesa Stiletto, which this is a good setup for me. I like it this way, and it works out great. So, these three on the bottom here are what I run in line. So, you start off with your modulation, your chorus, because in line it's a little more subtle than when you run it through your effects loop, which normally, chorus, flange, phase, stuff like that, you want to run anything that has a time, rate, or something like that through your effects loop. But I tend to like it a little more subtle, a little more, it just accentuates it a little bit better, if you know what I mean. So you got your chorus, you got your overdrive, and then you got your noise gate. Now, this is super important for anybody that plays high gain because noise gates, they keep all that hiss, that nasty stuff down or gone. And if you run an amp that was made in like the 90s or the 80s, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That or the E. Anytime you play your guitar, anytime you stop, whether your hand's resting on the strings or not, it goes crazy. And I can't stand that, so a noise gate or a noise suppressor must have. And then through the effects loop, you got this guy right here to start the chain. This is a MXR Carbon Copy Mini, which I've sworn by that delay for a long time because it has a great delay time. It's long enough where it can be super long, or you could dial it back to be just a little bit of an echo, whatever you prefer. It works out great. And then your EQ. Now, you can use a graphic EQ like this one, a parametric like the Empress Parrot EQ, the 6-band EQ, Boss GE7, but you got to run it through the effects loop because otherwise it's just going to overload the in to your amp, and it's just going to make things hairy and nasty, not in a good way. Okay, so what you do is you got your guitar comes in through here, ends over here. Then in your effects loop, you got your delay to start the chain and your EQ to end the chain. And of course, you got your power supply. The MXR ISO bricks and bricks are really good power supplies. You might like to give those a shot. Now, another question I get a lot is, what overdrive do I start with? What chorus do I start with? The world's your oyster. I mean, you got anything from high-end stuff like JHS, Wampler, things of that nature, but you also have lower-end stuff that you can just buy one that's like $40 off of Amazon and just give it a shot. I mean, I'm not saying play gigs with it, but you can at least try it out and see if you like it. And also, multi-effects units are a good way to get started as far as what effects you like. Now, me personally, I like chorus, inline, and then delay in the loop. And you can really get like a good 80s solo sound out of that, and it really, really sounds good. Phase and flange, if you're able to adjust like the low end and the high end and stuff like that, like from Boss or any other pedals that happen to have a little more adjustment, it's really great. But I run a phase 90 when I run a phaser, so I run it in line just like I do my chorus. Now, this one is a TC Electronics Corona chorus, But normally I run MXR Micro Chorus because it's just one knob. It's just the rate. And luckily enough, it's subtle enough to where I can run it in line and it doesn't push the high end too much or anything like that. So this concludes, what I was trying to make a video about today. If you have any more questions that I could possibly answer, especially if you're just beginning or anything like that, just give me a shout on the comments. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and we'll talk at you later. Have a good night.